What impact did Wade have on LeBron? Because he's a few years older.
LeBron is a champion because of Dwayne Wade. It's really that simple. That's how you put this. You're listening to somebody right now that's been covering them their entire careers. Mm-hmm. And Dwayne Wade, it doesn't get much better than him as a person in terms of the professional athletes that you interview, the class that they show, the way that they conduct themselves, particularly with the media, their contemporaries within the league, et cetera, et cetera. He's one of the best ever in that regard. But I think, Will, to put it in its proper perspective, people forget what LeBron was going through prior to arriving to Miami. He was being betrayed internally, teammates and people talking behind his back, treating him, his crew, family members with less than the respect that they warranted and they deserved, if for no other reason based on their association with him alone, talking behind his back constantly. He did not feel like he was a part of a team. He did not feel like he was a part of a brotherhood. He did not feel like he was a part of a family. And when you take that into consideration and you combine that with the fact that in terms from a biological perspective, in terms of the fatherhood figure, that wasn't really there. The odds were stacked against him, which is what he alludes to when he brings stuff like that up from time to time. So here comes D. Wade, a guy that's been your friend, that you came into the league with, that you got to know from the time that you were drafted together. And what happens? D. Wade brings you on board. He takes less, convinces you to take a little bit less, of course, and Bosh as well. Y'all go to 4 straight finals. You win 2 consecutive championships. When stuff collapsed and you didn't win the championship the first year go round against Dallas, D. Wade takes a step back because at that time he was at the height of his career, and you could have made a legitimate argument. They could have butted heads as to who's the guy because D. Wade was always a closer. He was always somebody that you could give the ball to in the clutch. LeBron was working on that. He was elevating himself to that point, but he just wasn't there. And when they lost to Dallas, it was D. Wade that went to him. It was D. Wade that had that conversation. It was D. Wade that let him know, I don't give a damn how good I am. I'm not you. You're the greatest in the world. I'm going to take a step back and hand this baton, and I'm going to be your sidekick. I'm going to be second fiddle to you. We can't win unless you are that dude. And that's what happened. And so for D. Wade to embrace him, not just as a teammate, but as a brother, and to invite him and bring him into a culture that was obviously established by Pat Riley and elevated by D. Wade, you just can't say enough about what he did for LeBron's career. LeBron is a champion because of D. Wade.
I think you can say this. Dwayne Wade single-handedly put LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. Without Dwayne Wade, we would not be discussing LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. People wouldn't be entertaining the idea that LeBron James is one of the greatest of all time. I think you go a bit too far because there are things that LeBron James is on his own. He is the greatest player of a generation on his own. He is one of the most well-rounded, smartest basketball players we have seen in a generation. And I believe, Stephen A., he is a champion. He has deserved and earned that label on his own. Going back to Cleveland, doing what he did, essentially on his own with Kyrie. We know what Kyrie had to do with it. We know what Kevin Love had to do with it. But doing that in Cleveland, he earned champion status on his own. But GOAT status, GOAT debate, in the same breath as Michael Jordan, this would not have happened but for Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, as you said, not just stepped back, and you said this, he pushed LeBron forward after that Dallas finals. He took him aside. He got in his ass and said, no, man, it's time for you. You got to be the full guy you are. And he gave him, as you said, 4 championships, 4 finals, 2 championships. And LeBron recognizes the role that Dwayne played. I just want to read you this, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
This is out there right now. Look, this isn't even controversial, I don't think, because LeBron knows this. He says, obviously, without D. Wade in my career, I wouldn't be sitting here with the resume that I have. He acknowledges that the things he could do individually, but getting these championships, putting these rings on his finger, it simply wouldn't be there without D. Wade. And without those championships, there'd be no GOAT discussion.
The only reason why I disagree with you somewhat is because you're acting as if LeBron had never been a champion. The only thing that would be absent from the conversation is GOAT status. I'm telling you, he would have been crucified mercilessly. And I've seen many, many occasions in the world of professional sports where that shrapnel of criticism so engulfs you that it makes you shrink. You can't overcome it. So when we talk about him in terms of the GOAT status, I'm saying the GOAT status would not have been the only thing eradicated from this conversation about LeBron James.
That's possible.
It would have been
it's
championship.
possible he may have never gone to Cleveland and gotten that championship on his own. It may have been that he would never have had the wherewithal, the intestinal fortitude.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And it may be, let me just say this. You know, I hear your point, and what you're saying is, without D-Wade, without that Miami experience, who LeBron James might have ended up being was somebody like Dan Marino or Jim Kelly, a guy who could play but never got the championship.
Okay, and what I'm saying to you is take what you just said into account.
Yeah.
How would we be talking about it?
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. No,
we wouldn't be saying anything. It would be, a matter of fact, he would be even more crucified because unlike the game of football where you got 10 other guys on the field with you and so many parts that have to work together, and then you've got the opposite side, defensive side of the ball, where there's 11 different players, and then you got special teams. Oh, no, on a basketball court, if a championship escaped the greatness of LeBron James throughout his career, oh, my Lord, he would have been crucified.
You're no doubt, and that's how the public reaction would have been. I do believe this, okay? And I'm not one of these guys, as Stephen A. Smith has like to point out, want to give LeBron James a manicure. I haven't been wanting to give him, throw roses at him on every step of the way. But I do believe he would not have shrunk from it. I do believe he would not have shrunk from being crucified. I think LeBron would have become a champion on his own, but he wouldn't establish GOAT status.
I don't know about that.
Clearly, he's his big brother, his confidant, and he learned to be a champion there.